What if there was one island that exists only once every 15 years, and anyone who reaches it either disappears forever or returns as someone who refuses to speak about what happened? In 2025, a classified government document was quietly declassified under the Freedom of Information Act. Buried inside hundreds of forgotten naval reports was a single sentence that investigators still struggle to explain. Object H-15 has resurfaced, civilian contact unavoidable. No coordinates, no photographs, no official explanation. Only a warning that had been repeated for more than a century. If the island appears, do not land. Yet one American expedition ignored that warning. Only one person came back, and according to every medical record, he had aged only 3 days, while 15 years had passed outside. Tonight's story is based on forgotten maritime legends, unexplained naval records, eyewitness testimonies, and one of America's strangest ocean mysteries. If you're watching alone, keep the lights on, because by the end of this story, you may understand why some places aren't meant to exist. The Atlantic Ocean has always hidden secrets. For centuries, sailors crossing the waters east of the United States reported impossible sightings. Entire ships vanished beneath clear skies. Compasses spun wildly without explanation. Dense walls of fog appeared from nowhere before disappearing just as suddenly. Most historians dismissed these stories as exhaustion, superstition, or poor navigation. But one legend refused to disappear. The legend of an island that no satellite could permanently locate. An island that wasn't visible on any modern chart. An island that appeared only once every 15 years. Local fishermen along the coast of Maine called it Gray Hollow. Older lighthouse keepers refused even to say its name after sunset. According to generations of coastal families, Gray Hollow wasn't simply hidden, it was waiting. Every 15 years, strange weather patterns formed hundreds of miles offshore. Birds abandoned the surrounding skies. Whales suddenly changed migration routes. Radio frequencies filled with static. Even modern GPS equipment produced impossible coordinates that changed every second. Then, for less than 48 hours, the island appeared. Rocky cliffs rose from the sea where open water had existed the day before. Dead trees covered the hillsides. A massive lighthouse stood at the highest point. Yet no official American map had ever recorded such a place. After 2 days, the fog returned. The island vanished, as though it had never existed. Most people laughed at the legend until history started leaving behind names, real disappearances. The oldest known record dated back to 1880. The merchant ship Elizabeth Monroe departed Boston, carrying 14 sailors and expensive cargo bound for Europe. Weather conditions were perfect. The ship was experienced. Nothing appeared unusual. 3 weeks later, rescue crews discovered the vessel drifting silently across the Atlantic. Its sails remained intact. Food still sat on wooden tables. Lanterns continued burning. Every personal belonging remained exactly where it had been left, but every crew member had disappeared. No blood, no struggle, no lifeboats missing. Only one strange object rested on the captain's desk. A perfectly smooth black stone, unlike any geological sample found anywhere along America's eastern coastline. Scientists later identified no matching mineral composition. The stone remains locked inside a federal research archive today. Then came 1895, exactly 15 years later. Another disappearance, another empty ship, another black stone. Again,
The date matched. Every 15 years, someone vanished. Every 15 years, someone reported seeing the same impossible island. Most reports came from ordinary people with nothing to gain: commercial fishermen, private sailors, Coast Guard patrols, weather aircraft. Each witness described identical details without ever meeting one another. Black cliffs, gray forest, an abandoned lighthouse, and one sound: a bell. Not loud, not frightening, simply calling. Investigators noticed another disturbing pattern. Every witness who heard the bell experienced identical nightmares for months afterwards. Dreams of endless fog, cold beaches, footprints leading inland, never returning. Psychologists called it coincidence, neurologists blamed stress, but nobody explained why complete strangers described the exact same dream. In the spring of 2025, 34-year-old marine archaeologist Ethan Walker never believed any of these stories. Born in Portland, Maine, Ethan built his career separating myths from historical facts. He had exposed fake ghost ships, debunked dozens of internet conspiracies, recovered genuine Revolutionary War wrecks buried beneath American waters. His reputation depended on evidence, not legends. Everything changed after receiving an anonymous package. Inside sat an old leather journal. No return address, no fingerprints, only one handwritten note: "Find the island before it finds someone else." The journal belonged to Coast Guard officer Thomas Hale. Officially, Hale died during a rescue mission in 2010. According to government reports, his patrol boat sank during severe weather. His body was never recovered. Yet the journal described events that occurred after his supposed death. Every page contained careful observations, dates, coordinates, weather conditions, sketches. The final entries became increasingly frantic. The fog isn't natural. The lighthouse isn't abandoned. Someone keeps ringing the bell every night. Then the final sentence, written across an entire page: "If you reach Gray Hollow, never answer the voices calling your name." Ethan initially assumed the journal was an elaborate hoax, but one coordinate immediately caught his attention. It matched an unexplained Navy exclusion zone established in 1970. Public records confirmed civilian ships had been prohibited from entering the area for decades. No official reason existed. Curiosity quickly became obsession. Ethan assembled a small research expedition, 5 people: marine biologist Sarah Collins, former Navy navigator Marcus Reed, documentary filmmaker Olivia Brooks, drone specialist Liam Carter, and veteran captain Robert Hayes. Their mission sounded simple: travel to the restricted coordinates, document unusual weather patterns, prove the island legend false. They departed Portland on September 14, 2025. Weather forecasts predicted calm seas, clear skies, perfect visibility. For the first 18 hours, everything went exactly as planned. Then, every electronic device failed simultaneously. GPS screens turned black, satellite phones lost signal, navigation computers restarted endlessly. The ship's engine sounded quieter, as though every surrounding noise had been swallowed by something unseen. Sarah looked toward the horizon. There aren't any birds. Everyone froze. She was right. Hundreds of miles of open ocean, not a single seagull, not one gull, not one petrel, nothing. Then the temperature suddenly dropped, 20 degrees in less than 2 minutes. White fog rolled across the water, not drifting, moving, almost deliberately. Marcus stared at the radar. "We've got land ahead." Everyone laughed. There couldn't be. According to every official map, They were surrounded by deep Atlantic Ocean. Marcus swallowed hard. "I'm serious. There is an island directly in front of us." Captain Hayes slowly reduced the engine. The fog parted, and for the first time in 15 years, they saw it. Gray Hollow, a jagged island rising silently from the sea. Its black cliffs towered above crashing waves. Dead forests covered the hillsides. At the highest point stood an enormous lighthouse. Its light wasn't rotating. It wasn't even illuminated. Yet somehow, every member of the crew felt as though it was already watching them.
The silence was unbearable. No waves crashing against the rocks. No birds, no insects. No wind moving through the dead forest. Only the slow rumble of the boat engine, until even that suddenly died. Captain Robert Hayes tried restarting it. Nothing. Again, nothing. Every gauge on the dashboard remained frozen. Fuel tank, full. Battery, fully charged. Yet the engine behaved as though the boat had never existed. Marcus stared at the dead navigation screen. It's impossible. Liam pulled out a handheld GPS. Blank. Sarah checked her satellite phone. No signal. Olivia lifted her camera. Surprisingly, it still worked. She slowly zoomed toward the lighthouse. What is that? Everyone gathered around the camera screen. At first, they saw only cracked stone walls, broken windows, rusted iron rails. Then, the camera autofocus sharpened. Standing inside the top window was a person, completely motionless, watching them. Captain Hayes immediately grabbed a pair of binoculars. The window was empty. He lowered the binoculars. The camera still showed someone standing there. He looked again. Empty. The figure existed only through the camera. Nobody spoke. Liam whispered, "Tell me everyone else sees that." Every head nodded. Olivia slowly lowered the camera. The figure disappeared from the screen. She raised it again. There it was, still standing, not moving, not blinking, watching. Then, without warning, the church-like bell inside the lighthouse rang. One deep, metallic tone. The sound rolled across the ocean like thunder. Every member of the expedition felt it inside their chest, not in their ears, inside their bones. Sarah suddenly grabbed her head. "I've heard that before." Everyone looked at her. "You've never been here." "I know." She looked terrified. "But somehow, I remember this place." Marcus quietly opened Thomas Hale's journal. One sentence had been circled dozens of times. "The bell doesn't call your ears, it calls your memories." Captain Hayes made a decision. "We're leaving." He turned the ignition again. Instantly, the engine started. Everyone sighed of relief. He pushed the throttle forward. The boat didn't move. Instead, the water beneath them had become completely still. The propellers spun, yet the ocean behaved like solid glass. Then, something touched the side of the boat. Tap, tap, tap. Nobody had seen anything. Olivia pointed her camera outboard. The screen revealed dozens of pale hands beneath the surface. Human hands reaching upward. She screamed and dropped the camera. Everyone rushed to the edge. Nothing, only dark water. She picked the camera back up. The hands remained, hundreds of them, moving slowly beneath the boat. Marcus refused to look again. "Turn that thing off."
Olivia couldn't. Her hands were shaking too badly. The camera slowly panned toward Ethan. Behind him, standing only a few feet away, was the same silent figure from the lighthouse. Except now, it wasn't inside the lighthouse. It was standing on the boat. Ethan spun around. Nobody. Olivia looked back through the camera. The figure had vanished again. Captain Hayes whispered, "We are not staying here." He threw the engines into maximum power. The boat lurched violently. The glass-like ocean suddenly released them. Within seconds, the island disappeared behind another wall of fog. Everyone exhaled. It's over. Nobody believed those words. Back on the mainland, the footage became even stranger. Olivia reviewed hours of video. Most recordings appeared normal until exactly 2:17 p.m., the moment they first saw Gray Hollow. Every frame after that contained impossible details. Dark figures standing among dead trees, faces inside broken windows, shadows moving opposite the sunlight, objects appearing, then disappearing between frames. Frame by frame, the figures moved closer, not while filming, only afterwards. Government image analysis later confirmed the footage had not been edited, yet nobody could explain it. Then, Ethan noticed something impossible. Near the shoreline, someone stood waving toward the expedition. He enlarged the image. His blood froze. The man waving was Coast Guard officer Thomas Hayes, officially dead since 2010, wearing the exact uniform shown in archived rescue photographs. The same face, the same beard, the same watch. He looked alive, smiling, as though waiting. 3 nights later, someone knocked on Ethan's front door. 3:15 a.m. Nobody outside, only a wet package resting on the porch. Inside, another black stone, the same strange mineral recovered from every vanished ship since 1880. Attached to it, a single handwritten sentence: "You left too early." No fingerprints, no DNA. Security cameras never recorded anyone approaching the house. Even stranger, the package was soaking wet with seawater. Laboratory analysis confirmed something almost impossible. The salt concentration matched water collected at exact the coordinates where Gray Hollow had appeared. Ethan contacted federal authorities. 2 days later, black SUVs arrived outside his home. The visitors identified themselves only as employees of the Department of Homeland Security. They already knew about the expedition. They already possessed copies of Olivia's footage. More disturbingly, they already knew about Thomas Hale's journal. One older agent quietly placed a classified photograph on the table. Taken in 1970, it showed a Navy destroyer anchored beside Gray Hollow. More than 50 sailors stood on deck. The next photograph, taken only 6 hours later, showed the exact same ship. Empty. Not one sailor remained. Only the captain survived. When rescuers found him, he was sitting alone on the bridge, still wearing his uniform, still gripping the steering wheel. Unable to speak. He remained alive for 22 years, never saying another word. Except one. Every night, exactly at midnight, he whispered the same sentence. "They're still waiting on the beach." The old agent leaned closer. "You weren't the first civilians to reach that island. You won't be the last." Ethan asked the question nobody wanted answered. What is Gray Hollow? The room became silent. Finally, the agent replied, "We honestly don't know. We only know it returns every 15 years, and every time it returns, people disappear."
Nobody spoke for several seconds. The government agents quietly gathered the photographs and prepared to leave. Just before reaching the door, the oldest agent stopped. Without turning around, he said, "There is one more thing you need to know." Ethan looked up. "What?" The agent slowly answered, "We've never lost people after leaving the island." He paused. "We only lose them when the island decides to come with them." The front door closed. The room fell silent again. For weeks, Ethan tried returning to his normal life. He resumed teaching marine archaeology, continued cataloging shipwrecks, appeared on documentaries, smiled during interviews. But every night, the dreams returned. Always the same dream. A shoreline covered in thick gray fog. Thousands of footprints leading inland, none returning. At the center of the beach stood the lighthouse. Its bell rang only once. Then someone whispered his name. Not loudly, not threateningly, almost like an old friend inviting him home. Every morning, Ethan woke with wet shoes. He convinced himself it was stress, until one morning, sand covered his bedroom floor. Fine black sand. Laboratory analysis confirmed it contained volcanic minerals, unlike any beach along the eastern United States. No one could explain how it had entered a locked apartment. Meanwhile, Olivia continued examining the expedition footage. She noticed something impossible. The camera timestamps no longer matched reality. Each time she opened the files, the recorded duration had increased. A 30-minute recording became 32 minutes, then 36, then 41. New footage appeared that nobody remembered filming. In one clip, the expedition could be seen standing on the beach, walking toward the lighthouse, talking calmly, smiling. None of them remembered ever leaving the boat, yet the footage clearly showed footprints in the sand. Marcus examined the video frame by frame. The shadows were correct. The lighting was natural. The tide matched ocean records. Everything suggested the footage was genuine, except it never happened. Or at least, they believed it never happened. Liam, the drone specialist, decided to recover deleted flight data. His drone had automatically recorded telemetry even after losing signal. When he restored the corrupted memory card, the final GPS log displayed coordinates impossible under any known navigation system. Latitude, normal. Longitude, normal. Time, October 4th, 2040. Liam stared at the screen. The expedition had occurred in 2025. The drone insisted it had landed 15 years in the future. Sarah's condition became worse. She began sketching the island repeatedly, without reference photographs. Every drawing matched satellite simulations almost perfectly. She drew hidden caves, underground tunnels, a cemetery near the lighthouse. One afternoon, Ethan asked, "How do you know what's inside the island?" Sarah looked confused. "I don't know." Then she quietly added, "I remember walking there." "But we never landed." She slowly looked at Ethan. "What if we did?" Those words changed everything. Ethan gathered the entire team. They replayed every second of their recordings. Something was terribly wrong. Each member remembered different events. Marcus remembered hearing children laughing. Olivia remembered seeing abandoned houses. Captain Hayes remembered speaking with an old lighthouse keeper. Sarah remembered walking through a graveyard.
Liam remembered finding an old American flag dated 1879. Ethan remembered nothing. Their memories didn't match, yet everyone was absolutely certain they were telling the truth. It felt as though pieces of an entire day had been erased and replaced with different versions. Unable to ignore the mystery any longer, Ethan submitted a Freedom of Information Act request for every government file connected to Gray Hollow. Months later, one heavily censored archive arrived. Inside were documents dating back to 1865. One report stood out, written by a Union Navy commander after the American Civil War. It described discovering a previously unknown island in heavy fog. 23 sailors landed, only one returned. His statement consisted of a single sentence: "The island isn't haunted, it's hungry." The commander immediately ordered the island destroyed using naval artillery. Official records claimed more than 100 cannon shells struck the cliffs. When the smoke cleared, the island had disappeared, not sunk, not destroyed, gone, as if it had never existed. In 2030, 5 years after Ethan's expedition, another strange event occurred. A commercial cargo ship crossing the same region issued a distress call. The final transmission lasted only 11 seconds. Investigators released the audio decades later. At first, only static. Then a frightened captain shouted, "There's land ahead!" Another crew member yelled, "That can't be possible!" Then a deep bell echoed through the radio. The transmission ended with one final whisper: "We've been here before." The ship vanished. No wreckage, no oil spill, no emergency beacon, nothing. Exactly 15 years after Gray Hollow had last appeared. Scientists continue searching for explanations. Some believe Gray Hollow is an extreme atmospheric mirage. Others suggest a magnetic anomaly capable of affecting memory and navigation. A few researchers speculate about undiscovered geological phenomena beneath the Atlantic Ocean. None of those theories explain the black stones, the disappearing ships, the impossible footage, or the people who return with memories that don't belong to them. Even today, official agencies refuse to discuss the classified exclusion zone. Commercial vessels are quietly rerouted whenever unusual fog forms in that region. Pilots occasionally report seeing an island that disappears before radar can confirm it. Every report is dismissed. Every witness is forgotten. Years passed. Ethan never returned to sea. He locked Thomas Hale's journal inside a fireproof safe. Olivia stopped filming documentaries. Marcus retired from navigation. Captain Hayes sold his boat forever. Only Sarah continued drawing the island every single day. The drawings became more detailed, more accurate. Eventually, she drew something no one had ever seen before: a weathered wooden sign standing near the beach. Carved into it were 4 words: "Welcome back." Beneath the words, 5 names: Ethan Walker, Sarah Collins, Marcus Reed, Olivia Brooks, Liam Carter. Their own names, as though the island had been expecting them long before they ever arrived. Then came 2040, exactly 15 years later. Weather satellites detected another unexplained wall of fog in the North Atlantic. Fishing boats reported hearing a distant bell. Migrating whales abruptly changed course. For 48 hours, GPS systems near the exclusion zone malfunctioned. The Coast Guard closed the surrounding waters, officially due to dangerous weather. Unofficially, everyone involved knew the truth. Gray Hollow had returned again. A rescue helicopter monitoring the area captured one final image before all communication was lost. At the edge of the island's black shoreline, 5 people stood silently facing the ocean. The photograph was blurry, But investigators enlarged it. The faces became clear. They were Ethan, Sarah, Marcus, Olivia, and Liam. None of them had left home that day. Security cameras proved they were hundreds of miles away. Yet they stood there, waiting on the beach, smiling, watching the helicopter, as if inviting it to land. The helicopter immediately turned back. Its crew survived. The photograph was classified. The public never saw it. Perhaps Gray Hollow is only a legend. Perhaps every document is fabricated. Perhaps every witness simply imagined the impossible. But if someday, while crossing the Atlantic off the northeastern coast of America, your compass suddenly begins to spin, the sea becomes perfectly silent, and a distant lighthouse appears where no island should exist, whatever you do, don't follow the sound of the bell. Because according to every surviving witness, the island doesn't choose people by accident. It waits, it remembers, and every 15 years, it comes back, looking for the ones who escape.